whatever you start, it can be a football club, it can be a company, it can be a family.
Yeah.
What are the values? What's the identity? What's the philosophy? Once you have that set, you go and get people that will be someone that can work in that environment. You know what I mean? Family is more difficult because you can't pick your family is family, but still, I do believe that if you create something, whoever is going to come in that environment will adapt to it. When it becomes difficult is if in the environment you have no rules.
Thierry, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome back to the UAE and
Thank you.
Welcome to Sharjah.
First time.
Yeah?
First time.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Nice.
really nice.
Are you hoping to see anything special while you're here, if you have the time?
Unfortunately for me, I won't be able to because I have to do the Arsenal Man City game tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's an in and out.
Nice.
But yesterday I went to a nice Japanese restaurant.
Okay.
Food was really good.
Yeah.
Origami, if I'm allowed to say the name.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where we were. Went to
Nice.
sleep, woke up to see you straight away, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to leave, unfortunately.
I
but
understand.
work is calling.
Okay, we totally understand, and man, I said to you before we went live now, is you are killing it as a pundit. I mean, did you ever expect that you were going to be this good, commenting and having all this banter in the broadcast world?
I'll be honest with you. Everything is an evolution. Everything that you do in life. First and foremost, when I stopped my career and I went straight away into the punditry world, you need to adapt. People do forget that English is not my first language. And so when you're on air, live, at times you might be afraid to make some mistakes because it goes viral. Right? And
that's
so
true.
you played against some players, so that you were on the field, you go on the other side, and you need to adapt to a certain evolution, understanding. So now I'm okay, I'm at peace, I'm more concise, more to the point.
Yeah.
And we created something with Micah, Kate, and obviously Jamie. That you guys like.
No, we love it. We love it.
There's something I wanted to share is that we are allowed to be ourselves.
Yes.
So what you see is authentic, organic. I think it's massive respect and to the producer, the director, because they allow us to be ourselves.
No, and I can tell you, the whole world really enjoys it. I mean, if anybody's feeling down, just tune in to your Instagram and just enjoy the banter, man.
It's crazy.
Keep it up and keep picking on Mika. We like that.
No, I don't actually. Well, sometimes. Kate a bit more. Jamie, for sure.
I was hoping to see you breakdance. I didn't see you try that either.
I've always said you have to stay in your lane.
That's true. That's true.
I stay in my lane. That's not really me.
Yeah, I understand. Well, so Thierry, we're at the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. I mean, this is one of the largest entrepreneurship events in the region. And I think it's going to be in the world because honestly, every year it keeps getting bigger. There's more land that they're taking up here to activate the space. So as an entrepreneur yourself, I mean, I recognize you're an angel investor as well in certain businesses. How were you able to did you envision that you were going to be able to transition as a professional athlete to an entrepreneur?
No, not at all. Especially in my time, the world wasn't going this way. Athletes were not thinking about it. And then at the end of your career, that's when you start to think instead of thinking during your career what you're about to do. And you have a lot of things starting, a lot of startup, a lot of thing that people will come to you. Obviously, when you are a player and a good player, you get to meet people.
Yes.
And obviously, because you had a career, you can invest. If we talk about in bracket money, right?
Yes,
I don't want to. That's not really the stuff I like to do. But so you get to meet people, ideas. What's going to be a good thing for you or not? Do you believe in it? Obviously, for me, it's a lot is around football. I'm trying to open my mind on different stuff. But when I don't know, the thing also when you invest. when you think about something, does it speak to you? Is it something that's gonna be good for the community? Is it something, do you want to make money, or do you want to make the world better, or something that you might not use yourself but good for others later on in terms of developing? So there is a lot of stuff that you need to be careful of. Also, you're gonna invest your money. Are you trusting people that are with you? At times also you don't know enough about something to be able to invest. It's a gamble.
That's true.
You understand what I mean? And now also what's even more weird is that what's going to work. It's very difficult to know. Like there's some stuff that are working right now. I won't name names because but if you said that to me maybe in my time, I would have said there's no way that's going to work. It's like thinking about calling someone to come and drive you. Uber. Okay. Uber, no one thought of that, and now is one of the biggest thing out there.
That's true.
So you always say to yourself, why did I not think of that?
That's true.
You know what I mean? But it's a tough one because people don't often mention trust in something that you invest in. But yeah, those are the stuff sometimes that will stop you also doing something. But like I said, I invested in Como, as you know, the team in a lot of startup also. Resol which is something that can help the brain and development of how you see the game. But there is one thing that I always say. Right now, my biggest investment that I'm trying to do, you know what it is? It's on myself.
Nice.
It's on myself. And sometimes you do forget. We tend to try to look after stuff and invent stuff as you should. But my biggest project right now?
It's yourself.
Myself.
I mean, you look great.
It's just you have the look and you have what's inside.
That's true.
And sometimes the look can make you believe that someone is okay. And so one of the biggest projects that I have right now is
your
myself.
Inner peace and yourself.
We keep on thinking about money and deals, and we do not think about investing in ourselves.
That's true. What made you suddenly let this trigger you? Was there an incident that happened?
COVID.
Oh.
Well, to invest in myself?
Yeah,
COVID. Yeah, because for the first time in my life, I had to stop. And then when you stop, you start to think about yourself. What makes you happy? Really,
that's true.
Not things around what makes you happy. We all know your kids, your family, but you. Let's say you don't have kids. Let's say you don't have family. You, what makes you happy? And I started to think, because one thing that we all do, right, is you try to always keep yourself busy to not think about what you need to think about for real. How you grew up, the impact that it had on you, and so COVID made me think. And when you're more often than not as a I would say a human being, when you think, you always unfortunately start to think in a negative way. That's when you're alone with your thoughts. And so I had to go and see what was happening with myself. So just to answer your question, that's when, because the world stopped. So I had to stop.
It's a good point, because also, like, after COVID, if you think about it, a lot of businesses and a lot of entrepreneurs started to come up with things focused on wellness and well-being, and what could make you like happier and everything. So there's and also from the investor side, there's all about impact investing. It's not just investing, like you said. And what am I investing in? Is it something that's going to not only generate a profit, but is it going to have massive impact? And I think you're right. This is it's kind of an awareness that a lot of people are having right now. So it's great that you mentioned this.
It is. You always, right? You go to the gym, you do different things, but what you do to free your brain, it's a tough one, and so, like you said, a lot of people come up with, right now, mental health is something that is not taboo anymore. People can talk about it. People are more open about it. But yeah, that's actually when it started for me.
And so, Thierry, let me ask you this. When one of the things that I remember in football, which still goes on till today, you can have people with great skill, but when they go and join a team, sometimes the personality doesn't fit in. I'm sure you've probably seen this a lot of the times. In business, would you say that's the same thing? Somebody might be like a great coder, but their personality doesn't really fit, would you still take them in, or you wouldn't take? Or is it completely different between what's on the pitch and what's in the office?
It depends. This is why normally, whatever you start, it can be a football club, it can be a company, it can be a family.
Yeah.
What are the values? What's the identity? What's the philosophy? Once you have that set, you go and get people that will be someone that can work in that environment. You know, so I mean, family is more difficult because, you know, you can't pick your family is family, you know, but still, I do believe that if you create something, whoever's going to come in that environment will adapt to it. When it becomes difficult is if in the environment you have no rules. So you will come with your rule, I will come with my rule because I'm French and my culture, and then suddenly you have a lot of different culture and different values within this under the same roof that cannot work. Do you understand what I mean? This is why you have if you take I like basketball, right? For a very long time, my friend plays for the Spurs. Popovich was the coach.
Yes.
Obviously not the coach anymore. He had a little issue the other day, but anyway, he created a way of playing basketball. Any players that were coming to the Spurs were adapting to it. As soon as they were leaving the Spurs, they were going to be maybe not good, late, not training well. But when they were there, they were not doing that. Why? Same human being, not playing for that team, late, not caring, arguments. Spurs, he behaves. Why? Same amount of money, same contract, same ego, because Popovich created an environment where you already know when you go there, when you walk in, you have to follow suit. Arsenal. So Alex at Man United, if you were not going to respect the rules, you gotta go. You understand what I mean? And so it becomes at a point, just repetition always creates habits, right? You just don't notice it. So it doesn't matter. It's not now. Am I picking that guy or not? Because you created an identity or philosophy, whether it's the boss or the guy under the boss or the guy under the boss of the boss, you all speak the same language. You should know if that guy should come in or not, and you should also, as I said, we study a lot of things. Sometimes you don't study the person that you're going to recruit. You look at the numbers that he can bring you, but what is he as a human being? Is he going to disrupt or disturb what you have in the building? That's very important.
I like that, disrupt or disturb. You know, you captained a lot of teams, and do you take your captaining skills into these new ventures that you invest in? Are you more of a sitting on the sidelines, or do you get involved in the?
I'm more of a if you want to call me and ask me stuff about what's happening, I like to let people work. I like to delegate right now. Before, and obviously, as you might know, I was coaching at the Olympics with the under 23. There is something that is very difficult because you, as a player, as a competitor, as a winner, when you stop, I always say that, don't take it the wrong way. You as an athlete, you die. I will never be able to play at that level, so the athlete die. But obviously, you still have that competitiveness in you, but you need to stop that, because as a captain on the field, as a player, I won't say what I used to say to players, but when we're in a fire, we're playing and someone is not doing his job, you're going to be...
You'll hear what you don't want to hear.
You're going to be right in front of him, what are you doing? And I'm being polite. You can't speak like that as a coach. You can't speak like that as a leader. It's not going to happen, especially with the new generation. Especially with the new generation. They want explanation. They challenge you on every single thing, and I'm sure we grew up the same way. If my dad, I always say that to people, if my dad told me that the Eiffel Tower was in Sharjah when I was young, I can't challenge the man. Am I going to challenge my dad? But now, if I so you cannot say do this or shut up. You can't say that. So you need to have an understanding and an emotional intelligence to be able to understand who you're dealing with. It's not that easy at times, to be able to be that leader. And if you ask me when I was a player, the best quality of a leader, I would have said it needs to be a lion, never scared, never. Yeah. Now I will tell you empathy and vulnerability.
Yes.
If a leader shows his team empathy and vulnerability in the right way, don't get me wrong, you're still the guy that will take decision or lead and show the way. But then when people know that they're working with someone that can understand them, that can see them, not only in the line of work, but what they are as human beings, they work a bit better. Yeah. They will follow you a bit better. Yeah. And they can open up also a bit better if they know that you are vulnerable and you have empathy, but you need to show it. It's not always easy for a leader to show that he's vulnerable.
I mean, and Thierry, so let me ask you this. Just like in football, you had a lot of challenges. Sometimes you can have injuries and this. And like you said, now there's a newer generation stuff. Do you feel like if you try to explain to this new generation how you dealt with your challenges back then to now, that would resonate with them, or you feel like
No, they can listen, they can admire it, they can say, oh, well done. But it's not the same life. It's not the same. What I thought was set in stone is not for them. It's total opposite. And you take a massive slap when you come from where I'm from and what I've done in my life, and I was sure that what I did was what you're supposed to do. But now you're looking at the youngsters and they do it a different way and it works. And then you look at it and you're like, that's not supposed to work. You're not supposed to be late in training. You're not supposed to be lazy at times. But the new generation have a different view of things. They see things. They have to deal with social media. We don't have to deal with social media. We don't have to deal with direct contact with fans that are going to kill you or make you feel like you're the best when maybe you're not. It brings you in different situations. So, it is very difficult. We at times, the older generation, make the mistake to say to them, in my time, I wouldn't have said that to my dad. You can't. You know what I had to do to arrive here. Yeah, but it's not. Not their. That's not their life. So if you start to speak like that to them, you will lose them. So you need to understand their codes. Because our codes are not theirs.
That's true.
It's very different. So that's why I said to you, when you're a leader, a coach, or whatever, it's not so much about what you know tactically or technically about whatever company you're on the field. It's about the relationship,
the personal connection.
How you're going to trigger them.
That's true.
How you're going to trigger them. Now you go on internet, if you're a football coach, you can have all the tactic of everybody explained. So you can easily do the same.
Copy paste.
How are you going to pass it on? How are you going to pass the message? How are you going to have, I don't know how many egos or guys that are kings in different countries because this guy is the boss in Cameroon, this guy is the boss in Sweden, and then you have to tell them that now, okay, we're going for the same thing to make them understand that. So that's something that is not always easy to do. That's why you have to take everything off of what you know of yourself and how you made it, and try to understand. I always say, and I will say it again, I got educated a certain way, but I used to say my kids re-educated me, but I would have to say my kids and the players that I meet now and the new generation, they are educating me on some stuff that for me was like, for me you can't be late. You understand what I mean? You can't be late, or you can't. If you see someone that's older than you, you have to show respect. That new generation.
They won't even stand up anymore.
No,
give a seat.
But for them, it's not a lack of respect. That's what they do. Do you understand what I mean? And so you need to. I said it to a friend of mine the other day. Actually, I said that when I was young, I had to go and meet the old generation. You had to go and go to their level. And now I'm there, and I have to go to the level. They skip my generation, but no. For you to understand, being able to put your ego on the side all the time for the good of the cause, because at the end of the day, if someone, understand well, if If you have a company, if you have a team, and you walk in and you're supposed to be the boss, and nobody gets up, nobody greets you, nobody says hi properly, you need to understand that, does it matter really for the good of the company, or you got upset?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your ego got touched because nobody said hi to you.
Yeah.
But are they working well? Do you have a game tonight? Are you going to have an argument with them just before the game, or just swallow it? And we need to win the game tonight. Yeah. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. It's an example. Huh? Understand me well, but are you putting your ego in front, or does it really matter? Really? Yes, it does. You understand what I mean? But does it really matter if you put it to, we need to win the game tonight, or we need to put numbers on the table if you have company or whatever?
Yeah. So I know, Thierry, you told me like you're leaving today.
Yeah.
Malheureusement.
Oh, very good.
J'étudie le français pour 10 ans à l'école ici.
Very good.
But so here's my question. What is your last few advice for the new generation, especially entrepreneurs, now that you are here at the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival?
Well, there's something that I, you know, as I mentioned to you earlier, and I know it's a cliche thing, but be happy. Be happy. Don't stop. You know what I'm trying to say is this: social media has been good. It is a good tool that sometimes can turn into something bad if you use it. It depends how you use it. But just be yourself. I see a lot of people that want to look like people that they've seen on pictures and whatnot. Try to be a good soul. Try to be yourself. Wear whatever you want to wear, not because someone told you to wear it. Own it and be happy along the way. I think it's very important. Sometimes we're so focused on, I have to make it, which is normal. Yes, you need to have that drive, you know. I want to make it, 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 I want to make it. And along the way, you forget why you started something or why you wanted to do it. You know, you forget that joy, that happiness along the way that we all had when we were young. Yeah. You know, 100%. and we do tend to forget about that. And so be happy, be yourself, no matter what.
Thank you so much, Thierry. This was an honor having you here in Sharjah, in the Sharjah Entrepreneurship Festival. Okay. Thank you so much. The Ballon d'Or legend here in the United Arab Emirates. Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Thank you.